Welcome back to True Vine Talks with Linda and Rachel. We've been out for a couple weeks because we did a training, but we are back on track to, give you guys some information and, some insight into the type of therapy that we do. So the training we did was, emotionally focused therapy with the individual. And what's important is we want to offer a path for our clients, not only in the couples and family, but for the individual. And so the way in which we do that is we use the empty chair technique as the person that the object of permanence, that's the person that you need, or you may have some unresolved issues with, that kind of thing. So we want you to know that there are avenues to use EFT in the individual, which Sue Johnson gives us in her attachment book, which is in my car, I think. So, all right, so so let's talk about.
Rachel, I have PowerPoint up, so I'm just click to the next slide.
Cool. What is attachment theory, Rachel?
So I think we've talked about attachment theory on the podcast before, but it was kind of created by Bowlby, and the way that we use attachment in EFT is figuring out, whether the client has a secure, anxious, or avoidant attachment style. It's important for us to understand. So secure attachment is, I'm comfortable sharing my emotions with you, and I'm comfortable hearing you share your emotions with me. I'll be there for you, and I believe you'll be there for me. And then, Linda, you want to talk a little bit about anxious attachment?
Yes, and like Rachel said, we've talked about some of these things in our podcast, but the preoccupied anxious person is, you're okay. You're saying that to the person that the object of permanence is that special other person that's in your life, but you're not okay. So you're anxiously pursuing them. You might blow up their phone with text. I might email my husband, text him, hey, where are you at? What are you doing? So I'm anxiously pursuing him. In the parent-child relationship, you want to be pursuing your kid, right? So that's how that would work. But the kid may feel anxiety if you're not around. So in these relationships where you're anxious, you don't feel okay that person will be there for you when you need them the most, right?
Yeah. So then avoidant is the opposite of anxious. So you believe that you're okay, you've got a pretty good level of self-confidence, but you don't always believe that other people are okay. You have a fear of loss, and to protect yourself from that loss, you don't exert a lot of energy into your relationships. You're more independent.
Yeah.
Is that pretty good
That's
said?
Very accurate.
Okay.
And anxious pursuers usually bond with avoidance. So, yeah, that's typically how that goes. And, and there's the other attachment style, which is chaotic, and that's usually where you see trauma. So, that's a whole other ball game that we're not going to go into today. So, but we'll get into that sometime, won't we, Rachel?
Yes.
So, Dr. Sue Johnson, and we explained this in our training, was back in the 1980s, she was bravely working with couples. So she started videotaping these couples because she couldn't figure out what was happening in the room. There was this fight happening in this dance, and it seemed like, it wasn't about finances. It wasn't because you didn't do the dishes or it was because you didn't take out the trash, or you didn't say hello to me when I walked in the door, which that's would be good, right, for attachment. So she noticed something happening, so she started videotaping her couples, and she found that they were in a cycle. And what she did from there was she mapped out stages and steps of the dance and how to help the couple touch on those vulnerable places and meet each other where they needed to feel comforted. So her work has been just, I don't know, it's been enlightening for me as a counselor, and it's helped me grow as a counselor, and it's all that I pretty much use in session now. And she pinged off Dr. Carl Rogers, and you want to be present for the other person and empathic, and just as the counselor, you're just being present with the person and trying to attune to what their needs are. So Rachel, I think we're moving on to Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Okay, so just kind of basics of Maslow's hierarchy. So the bottom, lowest level, if you imagine it like a triangle with the skinny point at the top, big part at the bottom. Basic needs are things like food, shelter, water, right?
Yeah.
Next level up would be safety, right? I have 4 walls and a roof over my head, I'm protected, right? Next level up, the third level up, is a general sense of love and belonging. And this is where most people tend to get stuck, all right? We from cradle to grave, we need someone to be there for us. We want to feel like someone's going to catch us if we fall. If I reach, you're going to reach back, right? If I call you in a time of need, you're going to answer, okay? A sense of love and belonging is what we're all searching for. And when we feel like we're failing at finding that, or no one's there for us, we're in crisis.
Yeah, very good. This one, our emotions?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's our fun one. Yeah. And would you like...
I'm just going to say that there's different types of emotions.
Hey, yeah.
There are some surface level emotions that come up first, like anger and sadness. They're more general. Okay. And then underneath those emotions, when we begin to get more vulnerable, we feel rejected, abandoned, disconnected, might feel like a failure, helpless, inadequate,
Yeah.
ashamed.
Yeah. Good. So initially, my reaction to you not talking to me, it might look like anger.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Rachel, why aren't you talking to me? Underneath, I'm feeling those more vulnerable, softer emotions, Dr. Johnson tells us, are I'm feeling rejected by you right now. I feel abandoned.
Yes.
Do you see me? Yeah. So we work a lot with that in our sessions. What's happening for your client when they're really showing anger? Are they really feeling vulnerable?
Yeah. And that's what Sue discovered by watching those videotapes. It's like, oh, this isn't about who took out the garbage. This is, why aren't you looking at me? Why don't we spend quality, meaningful time together? Why don't we have genuine conversations? I'm feeling disconnected from you. I'm feeling like maybe you're not interested in me anymore, and I'm boring. Yeah.
Very well stated. Good job. All right. Yeah. So that's our primary and secondary emotions. And in working with you as our client, we want to, what we do in session is we're certainly validating your experience. So when you come into therapy and you sit down and you say, daggone it, they cut me off. I'm so mad. I'm so really mad. And they're really heightened in that anger. As the counselor, we're not going to go, oh, that sounds really hard. We're not going to do the soft, slow voice. We're not going to nurture that. We're going to mirror back and validate what that client is experiencing. Yeah, that really makes me mad too. So then that validation opens up, oh my gosh, they get me. And that makes them feel validated. And that's what Rachel does so well with her clients, is she validates their experience and opens them up.
We also do something called evocative responding. So when I'm sitting across from someone, I see them, shaking their foot, they look nervous, they're having a hard time making eye contact, looking around the room. Evocative responding would look like me saying, hey, I notice as we talk about this, your foot has started shaking and you're having a difficult time maintaining eye contact with me. I'm wondering what's happening for you right now.
Yeah.
I want them to tell me how they're feeling right here and now as we talk about a difficult topic.
Isn't that what you love about our therapy?
It's so great.
Yeah.
It helps them build self-awareness, because people, I think, really don't realize what they're doing in the moment. And when I point it out, they're like, oh, you're right. I'm feeling kind of nervous talking about this. I've never shared it with anyone before. It's like, oh, you're scared. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's a very present process. We're going to work with you where you're at in the session, in the room. So it's awesome. And then, another term used in EFT therapy is heightening. And when, the client's on the edge of sharing what they're experiencing, but they can't quite get it out, I want to heighten that. I want to bring it into their awareness. So, oh my gosh, when he does this, when he looks away and he's on his phone, you just want to ball up, right? You just want to ball up, and you just want to just go into your shell and feel safe again, because he's not there. So you're heightening that experience in the room, bringing it forth. Think of the word heighten, bringing it up. So that's an important piece in working with our clients.
Which is really, really cool, because I think that a lot of times counselors were trained to remain calm no matter what, have a poker face, right? But what I love about this emotionally focused style is letting them be angry.
Yeah.
And being angry with them. You did not deserve to be treated that way.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Because, their friends and family are probably calming them down. They don't want to be angry.
Yeah.
And they don't want them to be sad. Like, oh, don't cry. It's going to be okay.
Oh, everybody says, I don't want to cry in here. I'm like, yeah, I want you to cry in here.
Absolutely.
I don't show people that I cry. I'm like, and how's that going?
Yeah.
How is that going? Not being vulnerable. Not being real. How's that working? Let's be sad. What is sad telling you to do? Remember, we're mindful of our emotion, and getting people to be mindful about what's going on for them is a huge part of EFT. And we've talked a little bit.
Therapy.
Yes, it's good stuff. Cool. Which one are we on?
We're on reflecting the underlying emotion.
Yeah.
So, reflecting the underlying emotion. So when someone tells me that they're feeling angry, right? And then we do a little digging and we figure out that, I'm feeling angry because my partner doesn't look at me, they ignore me when I try to talk to them, they walk off. Reflecting the underlying emotion would be like, oh, okay, so you get angry because you're feeling rejected.
Yeah.
We're helping them find those deeper, vulnerable emotions.
Yeah. And rejection leads to sad.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is underneath all that.
Because when we're rejected, we're also isolated. We feel depressed.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mentioned this book to Rachel once, Bowling Alone. I think Robert Greene wrote it. I think it's Robert Greene, Bowling Alone, and he talks a lot about how our culture is so detached. And this was back in the early 2000s, I think I read it. We're disengaged. And people just think, oh, I'll do it myself. I'm a free will agent. I can do it all. Just this individualistic society. And what we're finding is the society's fragmenting, and people feel alone in their devices, their phones and their tablets and stuff, and their computers more than they've ever felt.
Yeah.
That's why EFT's needed, because it's like, let's get back online and have connection.
Let's make eye contact with other people.
Yeah.
Let's smile at someone and experience them smiling back. Mirror neurons. It's powerful.
It is. And Rachel and I have that, so we're always like, that's why if I hear good things in our podcast, our energy's good, and we're using our mirror neurons to connect. And we feed off each other for that. So it's a positive thing. So empathic conjecture. When I am with a client and I'm trying to understand, when they tell me that, I'm here at home and I'm raising all these kids and he's just in the basement. I don't know where he's at. I don't know. And, I'm like, man, so when you feel alone raising your children, or vice versa, when the man's, taking care of the kids and the wife's not there and he feels abandoned and alone, it's like, so I want to find out, so when they're gone, what emotion happens for you? Do you feel sad? Do you feel rejected? Do you feel abandoned? I want to give them a menu. What's happening? So I'm conjecturing, what is the emotion? Does this land on you right? Yeah. So it's good stuff.
Figuring out where they're at.
Emotionally. Yeah.
Okay. And then reframing is where a lot of the attachment stuff comes in with emotionally focused therapy. So we find out how someone's feeling on the surface. We get to those deeper, more vulnerable emotions, okay? And then we want to find out what behavior they act out, okay? When we find all that out, we're like, okay, so you get angry because you're feeling rejected, and that makes you want to yell at your partner, pick a fight, slam doors and things, right? But you're not doing that because you don't love them or care about them and you want to leave. You're doing that because you want to get their attention. You're trying to make them see you because you feel abandoned and afraid that they're not interested anymore. So we're helping them reframe why they're doing what they're doing from an attachment perspective.
Very well stated.
Thanks.
Yes, that's the reframing part. Now, an important part and the key element in coming to us for individual therapy, couples and family, is we do a lot of what we call enactments in EFT. And an enactment is you're sharing, you're reflecting and sharing those vulnerable emotions with your partner. So like what Rachel just said, that behavior displaying is your way of getting them to come close. So in here, you want to have your client to say to the empty chair, if the spouse isn't here, or the mom, the dad, whoever that primary attachment is, I just get angry and I start throwing things because if I don't, you don't see me and it hurts me. I just need you to see that I'm here. What would that be like to share that? So you're going to show them with a proxy voice as their therapist. You're going to show them what that looks like, saying it to the empty chair. And then you're going to say, what would that be like for you to share that in that way? And they may say, well, I'm getting scared. Okay, you're scared. So let's slice it thinner. What would feel safe to say to that person? I'm scared to even tell you that I'm upset right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you slice it a little thinner. Well, could you say that to them? Yeah, I think I could. So enactments are a huge part, well, actually the integrity of the whole model that we do. Because if we're not doing enactments, people aren't integrating and healing within. Right? Because whatever's happening for them with not having that person be present is what we're working through in session. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah. We're helping clients have the deep, meaningful conversations in session that would help them have a more fulfilling relationship with their attachment person outside of session. And the goal would be for them to eventually, share what they're sharing with the empty chair with that person.
Exactly. You're making it safe in the therapeutic model to be vulnerable when they go out into their home or any interaction they would have with that person. Whether that be the boss, the friend,
mom, sister, whoever.
Yeah. So it's such a beautiful model, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. So I don't guess we need to do the role play because that would be, people wouldn't get it. I don't think, because
I think you have to see it to truly grasp.
Which we may start doing some videos for you guys in the future, but we're not there yet. But we're definitely focusing on the here and now of the person's experiences.
Another thing that I really like about using the empty chair with EFT is the person can talk to a part of themselves.
Yeah.
So a lot of people with anxiety who have this part of themselves that's really, really scared, and we can have them talk to that anxious part from their,
compassionate self.
Compassionate part, to teach them to be more nurturing, and nice to themselves, and not beat themselves up and be so critical all the time.
Very well stated. And it's awkward and weird for people to start splitting off.
People don't want to do it.
But we dissociate all day.
Yeah. We do.
We split off all day. There's that, you get your anxious part of yourself, and in the family systems therapy talks about you have an exiled person. That's the part of you that's been hurt. Okay? You have a proactive protector. You have they're always looking for danger and they're keeping you safe, that part of yourself. And then you have a reactive protector. It's the same goal as your proactive protector, but he's keeping the exiles from showing up. So sometimes that part of you does some destructive things like, drinks too much, eats too much, that kind of thing. So we're trying to integrate the individual into a whole person and utilize all them parts of themselves to keep them safe, secure, and integrated, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So the model, I think it extends beyond just the couples. It's the parts of the self that are in battle too in a cycle.
Yeah.
So
we all have a critical part, fun, nurturing, sad, and we need to have all those parts. If we didn't have a critical part, we would trust everything and everyone, and we'd get in trouble. We'd get hurt. If we didn't have a sad part, how would we deal with loss and grief? So we need all of these parts, but like you said, we need to integrate them and understand how to take advantage of the parts when needed and separate them, and not be critical all the time or sad all the time.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, so Rachel, we want to have our clients understand the type of therapy that we do so that they feel comfortable coming in and just, being able to open up with us. So if you need an appointment or someone that does, give us a call and we are at 304-545-0033. And then there's Rachel's number, which is 304-991-4940. And also, you can visit our website, Truvine, West Virginia, at .com or whatever it is, TruvineWestVirginia.com. Yeah, that's it. So, thank you for joining us on a Saturday morning for our morning podcast. We look forward to having you come and see us.
Bye.
Bye.